Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are well. So today in this video I am going to start 26 exercise probability and it has only one exercise. So before starting the sum, first of all we have to understand some important points. So see this one carefully. So you can see first of all experiment and events. So an operation which can produce some well-defined outcome is called an experiment. Each outcome is an event. So you can see the examples are given to us. With the help of example we can understand that what are the experiments and what are the events. So you can see tossing a coin is an experiment. We know that when we are throwing or tossing a coin, that time we know that the coin has two faces, head and tail. So any event can occur. Maybe head can occur or tail can occur. So you can see tossing a coin is an experiment. So and the possible outcomes can be turning up a head and turning up a tail are the events. So in this case you can see tossing a coin is an experiment and the well-defined outcomes are can be head and can be tail. So head and tail both are events in this case. And now you can see the second example. Throwing a die is an experiment and 6 possible outcomes of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 events. So you can see when we are throwing a die, that time 6 possible outcomes can occur. So these are the well-defined outcomes and these are called the events. So the 6 possible outcomes can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are the events. So when we are throwing or when we are doing any experiment, means when we are tossing a coin, when we are throwing a die, that time the possible outcomes which can occur are called the events. So this is the concept of event. So now next is random experiment. You can see an experiment in which all the possible outcomes are known and the exact outcome cannot be predicted in advance is called a random experiment. Means if we are throwing a die and we cannot predict in advance that what can occur, that is called the random experiment. So you can see if we are throwing a die and we know that a die has 6 faces, so anytime when we are throwing a die any face can occur. So means we cannot predict that what is exactly coming in advance. So this is called the random experiment. Okay, next is trial. You can see the trial means to perform a random experiment. Means for example if we are throwing a coin, that time possible outcomes can be head and tail. So means in this case when we are throwing a coin, head and tail are the trials. So the total number of trials in this case you can see 2 because of a coin has 2 faces. So when we are throwing a coin, that time head can occur or tail can occur. So in this case the total trials are 2. And now you can see the second example. Throwing a dice, 6 faces we know that 1 to 6. So each face you can see can be occur one time. So all the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are also called the trial. So now the next is probability. So you can see, suppose in an experiment we make n trials, means the total number of trials are n and we want to find out the probability of occurrence of an event E. That time the formula of probability is the number of trials in which event E occurs divided by total number of trials. So this is the formula of finding the probability of any event. So in the first sum you can see a coin is tossed 200 times and tail is obtained 104 times. So if a coin is tossed at random, what is the probability of getting a head? So you can see a coin is tossed 200 times and tail is obtained 104 times. We know that a coin has the two faces, head and tail. So that is why when the coin is tossed 200 times, that time tail is obtained for 104 times. And in this case we have to find out the probability of getting a head. So first of all we have to find out that how many times head occurs. So you can see the total number of trials is equal to 200 and the number of trials in which tail is obtained, that is given 104. So the number of trials in which head is obtained we can find out by subtracting 104 from 200. So it will become 200 minus 104. So it will become 96. Because of tail is obtained for 104 times, and then we can easily find out that how many times head is obtained by subtracting 104 from 200. So it will become 200 minus 104 is equal to 96. And now I had already explained you the formula to find out the probability of getting a head. Because of in this case we have to find out the probability of getting a head. So simply we can write down that probability of head is equal to number of trials in which event head occurs divided by total number of trials. So this is the formula. So this is a very simple sum. Only we have to find out the number of trials in which event head occurs, then we have to divide it by the total number of trials. So the number of trials in which event head occurs, that is 96. So put the value here, that is 96. Then the total number of trials is 200, so divide it by 200. And after cancellation it will become 12 by 25. So this is the solution. Like the same way we can also find out the probability of getting a tail. Although it is not given here, but we have to divide only the events in which the tail is occurs by the total number of trials. So in this case, if we want to find out the probability of getting a tail, that time we have to divide 104 by this 200. So this is the sum. So I hope this is clear to you. You can now see the second sum. In this sum you can see two coins are tossed simultaneously 200 times and we get two heads for 58 times, one head for 83 times and no head for 59 times. So when the two coins are tossed at random, what is the probability of getting? The first part is two heads, the second is one head and the third is no head. So in this case you can see when the two coins are tossed simultaneously, that time 200 times we get this information. Means that time for 200 times when the two coins are tossed, head is obtained, two head are obtained for 58 times, one head obtained for 83 times and no head obtained for 59 times. So first of all you can see the total number of trials 200, it is given to us. So the first part is we have to find out the probability of getting two heads. So again write down here the first part, the solution is probability, in the bracket I had put two heads, that is equal to the number of trials in which two head occurs divided by total number of trials. So this is the formula for finding the probability of getting two heads. So in this case you can see two head are obtained for 58 times. So put the value here, that is number of trials in which two heads occurs divided by total number of trial is 58 over 200 and after cancellation it will become 29 by 100. And now you can see the next is we have to find out the probability of getting one head. So how many times one head occurs? You can see it is also given. One head occurs for 83 times. So put the value here in the formula. So probability of getting one head is equal to number of trials in which one head occur divided by total number of trials. So in this case the number of trials in which one head occur is for 83 times. So 83 over 200. So this is the answer, and the last is probability of getting no head. So see that how many times no head occurs. So it is also given, you can see no head occurs for 59 times. So the probability is the same formula we have to apply here. The probability of getting no head is equal to the number of trials where no head occur is 59 times divided by total number of trials. So this is the solution. So in the third sum you can see it is given that in a survey of 100 families they were asked about their number of children. The data is collected as follow. So you can see here the number of children and the number of families. Means those families having two children are 40 and those families having one child are 35 and those families having no child means 0 are 25. So this is the information is collected when the survey is conducted on 200 families. So now you can see find the probability of selecting a family having one child. So in this case we have to find out the probability of those families who has having only one child. So you can see in this case the total number of trials are 100 because of survey was conducted on 100 families. So the total number of trials in this case are 100. In this case we have to find out the probability of a family having one child. So the number of trials in which families having one child are 35. So from the table you can see the number of trials in which families having only one child are 35. So the probability of having one child is equal to the number of trials having one child divided by total number of trials. So the number of trials having one child is equal to 35 divided by total number of trials, that is 100. So after cancellation it will become 7 by 20. So this is the solution. So okay, now in the next sum you can see a dice is thrown at random. If a dice is thrown 100 times and the outcomes are noted as below. So we know that a die has a 6 faces. So when a dice is thrown for 100 times, that time the outcomes are noted. You can see on this table. So the outcome and the frequency is given. Means 1 occurs for 21 times, 2 occurs for 14 times, and 3 occurs for 18 times, 4 occurs for 15 times, 5 occurs for 23 times, and 6 occurs for 9 times. So this information is given when the dice is thrown and for 100 times. And now we have to find out the probability of getting 3, 6, 4 and 1. So 4 parts are given that we have to find out in this case. So now you can see the first of all the total number of trials are 100 because of the dice is thrown for 100 times. So the total number of trials are 100. So the first case is we have to find out the probability of getting 3. So the probability of getting 3 is equal to the number of trials in which 3 event occurs, that is occurs for 18 times, divided by total number of trials. So this is 18 by 100, and after cancellation it will become 9 by 50. Now the next is the probability of getting 6, because of the second part that we have to find out the probability of getting 6. So again in this case we have to write down the events in which 6 occurs. 6 occurs for 9 times. So 9 divided by total number of trials, that is 100. So 9 by 100 is equal to 9 by 100, because of no any cancellation is there, because of no any common term between 9 and 100. So this is the answer of the second part. And now you can see the third sum, probability of getting a 4. Again we have to write down that how many times 4 occurs. 4 occurs for 15 times. So the events in which 4 occurs are 15 divided by total number of trials, and after cancellation it will become 3 over 20. And the last is we have to find out the probability of getting 1. So in this case also we have to write down the events in which 1 occurs. So you can see 1 occurs for 21 times. This is given. So the events in which 1 occurs are 21 divided by total number of trial, that is 100. So it is 21 by 100. So this is the solution of this fourth sum. So okay, now see the fifth sum. In a survey of 300 ladies, it was found that 162 like tea and 138 dislike it. So from these ladies, one is chosen at random. What is the probability of getting a chosen lady like tea? So in this case, we have to find out that the probability of a lady that likes tea. So in this case, you can see the total number of trials in this case 300, because of the survey was conducted on 300 ladies. So you can see the total number of trials 300, and the number of trials in which ladies like tea is 162, because of we have to find out the probability of lady like tea. So in this case the number of trials in which ladies like tea we have to write down, that is 162. And now you can see directly we can put the formula, because of the information is given to us, and you can see the probability of lady likes tea is equal to the number of trials in which ladies like tea divided by total number of trial. So the number of trials in which ladies like tea is 162 divided by total number of trials is 300. So after cancellation it will become 27 by 50. So this is the solution. It is a very simple sum. So okay, now you can see in the sixth sum, a bag has 10 balls of which 3 balls are green and the remaining balls are white. A ball is taken out of the bag. What is the probability that it is a white ball? So you can see in this case total number of trials are 10, because of a bag has 10 balls. So write down the total number of trials is equal to 10. And now you can see the number of green balls are given, that is 3. So in this case we have to find out the probability of getting a white ball. So first of all we have to find out the events in which a white ball occurs. So how we can find out? It is very simple, because of a bag has only 2 colored balls. So you can see the number of green balls are 3. So in this case we can find out number of white balls by subtracting this 3 from 10. So it will become 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. So the number of white balls in this case are 7. So now you can see, so we can write down the number of trials in which white ball occur, that is for 7 times. So the number of trials in which white ball occur is equal to 7. So here we have to find out the probability of getting a white ball. So write down here the probability of getting a white ball is equal to number of white balls divided by total number of balls. Means the events in which white ball occurs divided by total number of events. that is 7 by 10, because of the white balls occurs for 7 times, so 7 by 10 is the solution. So even in this case we can find out the probability of getting a green ball also. That time we have to divide this 3 by this 10, because of in this case you can see the number of green balls are 3, so 3 by 10 will be the solution of this green colored ball. But only we have to find out the probability of a white ball. In this case it is given in the statement, so the number of white balls divided by the total number of balls gives the solution, that is the probability of a white ball. Okay, now see the last sum of this exercise. You can see a dice is thrown once. What is the probability of getting a number which is a prime? So you can see the solution. First of all we have to write down the total number of trials, that are 6, because of we know a die has a 6 faces. Even I has shown you the sample space of the faces also. So you can see the number of trials. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, 5, 6. So like this way the total number of trials that can happen are 6. So in this case when a dice is thrown only once, that time total number of trials are 6. So here we have to find out the probability of getting a number which is a prime. So you can see prime numbers are only 3 in this case, because of from this sample space you can see 2 can occur, 3 can occur and 5 can occur, because of prime numbers are only from this sample space are 2, 3 and 5. So the total number of prime numbers are in this case 3. So now you can see we have to find out the probability of getting a number, that is the prime number. So probability getting a prime number is equal to number of trials in which prime number occur divided by total number of trials. So you can see number of trials in which prime number occurs, that is 3. I had already shown you this one, 3 divided by total number of trials, that is 6. So after division you can see 3 by 6, after cancellation it will become 1 by 2. So this is the solution. So dear students, this is your 26 exercise and I had solved all the sums of this exercise. Now you have to do the practice by yourself. Still if you find any difficulty, then you can call me also. You have my contact number. So till then, learn mathematics and stay healthy. Thank you.